Can you imagine getting sued by your wife? Onana started as an emerging basketball star. He was quickly drafted into the NBA and became an immediate sensation. Rising through the ranks, every brand wanted to work with him. He quickly started to make a name for himself and get that money. Throughout his journey, Onana was dating his high school sweetheart, Mandy. They'd been dating for the past 6 years, but little by little, cracks were starting to show in their relationship. Mandy kept complaining that Onana never had time for her. She was feeling neglected and she wanted him to spend some time, just a little bit of time with her. Onana kept reassuring her that he loved her, that he would continue to be with her, but he had to be honest and that his career was taking a lot of his time. But they decided to stay together and work together and ensure that they didn't become like those marriages which failed due to the stress of sportsmanship. As time went on, they continued to have several conversations about Onana's lack of attention, his lack of time, and Mandy's ever-growing frustration with the whole debacle. Eventually, by the time they both turned 26, they agreed that now was the time to get married. Soon after, they welcomed a bouncing baby boy. Again, Mandy brought up the fact that now they are starting a family and she really wanted Onana to be a lot more present. He promised that he would retire in a few years and then they could spend their days together, continuing their family, growing their family, and enjoying the fruits of their labor. 6 years later, Onana is ready to retire. He's ready to come back and spend a lot more time with his family. Unfortunately, around the same time, their son falls sick, severely sick to the point that they rush him to the hospital, requesting the doctors check on him. A doctor comes out, allows Mandy to see their child, and speaks to Onana in private and informs him that, look, I'm sorry to tell you, but your child is suffering from a kidney failure and needs a transplant as soon as possible. Devastated and confused, Onana asks the daughter, what can they do? The doctor says, unfortunately, sometimes these things happen. And your child is small, he's just 6 years old. What are the next steps you guys want to take? Onana says there's no question. He wants to give his own kidney to his child. So he's ready to do all the tests. He'll do whatever he needs to do, but he has to donate his kidney to his child. Mandy comes in and says, look, calm down. I don't think we should do this. Let us get a second opinion. Let us find out more. And then let's register him on the organ donation list. Onana understands where she's coming from, but he's like, nah, that will take long. It is not a guaranteed process. We don't know what will happen. I cannot lose my child. I will go through the testing. So he goes with the doctors and gets all the exams and the testing done. And the doctor says he will reach out in a few days. A few days later, the doctor calls Onana and tells him to come to the hospital. He wants to speak with him directly. At the hospital, Onana is informed that they did the tests and the checks. And unfortunately, there is no match and no compatibility between his kidney and his child's. Onana said, okay, I understand. Sometimes these things can happen. The doctor says, no. Usually with a parent, sometimes the match is lower or the match is incompatible, but there's traces. There's something that connects you two. There is absolutely nothing between you and this child. Is your child adopted? Onana says, are you mad? He starts insulting the doctor, wanting to shout, and storms out of the hospital in anger, not caring about all the paparazzi trying to take pictures of him. Upon his arrival at home, Onana processes. He thinks about it. He starts to weigh that, is his child really his? Is there something he doesn't know? So again, he returns to the hospital the following day, requests that they perform a DNA test on his child. The DNA test comes back. There is 0% that he is that child's father. In that moment, Onana realizes that he has been lied to for several years. He storms home, finds Mandy at home, and smacks her. She falls to the ground, confused, shouting, Onana, what's going on? Why? He tells me, you've cheated on me. I've just found out that child is not mine. Mandy tries to scramble back up, and again, Onana smacks her and says, you need to tell me the truth. Realizing the anger in his voice, in his tone, and what he's going through, Mandy confesses. She said, look, you were never around. You were always busy. You didn't listen when I spoke to you. I tried to speak to you. You didn't care. Eventually, I found a shoulder to cry on in your best friend, Kay. He had my time. He had energy for me. And eventually, an affair started. But that's not all. She confesses that she's been having an affair for years and that she's currently 7 weeks pregnant with Kay's second child. Onana said, absolutely the hell not. You will get out of my house. You will take yourself and you will take your child out of my life. He throws her out. And a few days later, news breaks. Jacob Onana has just found out that his child of 6 years is not biologically his. Newspapers are printing, blogs are discussing, podcasts are telling stories, opinions. Everybody is talking about it. Onana said he will not stand for this madness. He wants nothing to do with Mandy. He's filing for divorce. That divorce quickly turns nasty. Mandy had signed a prenup in an attempt to prove that she wasn't after his money, and that was going to be her downfall. She had cheated, the child was not his, and Onana owed her nothing. Mandy left with her clothes on her back, a child, and a ruined reputation. But that was not the end. Realizing that she had nowhere to go, no one to turn to, Mandy set out for revenge. She filed a $200 million lawsuit against Onana, stating rape and assault. Late one night, Onana gets a call from his lawyer. Sir, we have a situation. Mandy has filed a lawsuit against you for rape and assault. Onana disagreed. He didn't understand how he could be accused of such things. That was his wife. He would never rape her. How could this be? His lawyer informed him that she states that on March 17th, 2021, you initiated interest requesting intercourse. She disagreed, stating disinterest and exhaustion. You, however, proceeded and went ahead with the act. That is your first count of rape. Your second count was, during that same evening, you, without her consent, proceeded to then insert through her back door. That is your second count of assault. Onana said, I remember, I can potentially remember that night, but she wasn't dissatisfied. She wasn't happy. She was okay with it. We enjoyed ourselves. What is this going on? Laura said, look, unfortunately for you, she had stated once that she wasn't interested. You should have stopped. Secondly, she did not consent to the use of her back door. That, in today's laws, qualify as rape. In addition, the lawyer stated that unfortunately for Onana, the case is not looking good for him because nowadays people tend to favor the women. So whatever he's going to do to solve this, he must do it now. As it stands, Onana is currently on trial trying to beat his lawsuit against Mandy. However, the police have also picked it up and are working on it as a criminal case of assault. Onana currently faces up to 20 years in jail if convicted. Now that's an entangled web. Like, comment, and follow and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Entangled Web Stories, and I'll catch you in the next one every Saturday.